What's up, guys? Duper Damage here. Prior to the release of the expansion, I theory crafted a new warrior deck, and it was basically counting on like the synergies between the minds of the Iron Juggernaut and the Youthful Brewmaster. Which, if you see some of my other videos, I already, even before the expansion, noted how like amazing Youthful Brewmaster is in a control warrior deck. But now so even more, especially with like cards like Antique Healbot, and all of this extra removal that we have. So we're going to basically play this very similar to how you would play a standard control warrior, which is face damage being completely irrelevant until Straza's dropped. But now we have much more options as far as removal, and we have many more ways to kill them as well too. So like we can always do Straza, and then the Grommash combo. But one of my favorite things to do is because like against like decks like Priest or Control Paladin, that just isn't enough. They have so much heal and they have so much ways to sustain themselves. Go beyond that combo that you need something more. So Iron Juggernaut alone with these two Youthful Brewmasters, means you can drop it 3 times. That's 30 damage already. That's lethal already assuming they don't run heals, but they do, and they will. Especially if this deck becomes a thing, then people are going to be running a shit ton of heal. So there was some variations I made with this deck. Like I have a mill version of it. But basically this is the original Bouncing Juggs. Bouncing Blade and the Iron Juggernaut. So, and then there is like, I have like a few, like I have the Mad Bouncing Juggs, which is like based with the Matter Bomber, which synergizes really well. And then the Mad Mills Juggs, which is like supposed to like just thin out their deck a little more with like things like Cold Light Oracle and Death Lord. But those haven't had much game time. If you want to see a video on one of those, I can do that if you ask. But let me show you some gameplay with this deck. It's really, really hard to lose. Against some classes, the game goes on longer than is enjoyable sometimes. But super, super hard to lose. Ironically, the one bad matchup is Aggro Mage, because if you don't draw into your heal in time, and you get within Pyroblast range, because this is similar mentality to Handlock. In some of the opening turns, you have to be prepared to take some face damage. Like, you have to be okay with that. I think that's where the similarity ends, though, pretty much. So, this is the first day since the new expansion came out, so bear in mind, everybody's, like, experimenting with weird shit, so it's really hard to properly mulligan right now, even against classes that you think you know, like Hunter, because they could be playing some completely weird shit. So we're just going to look for early removal just to cover our ground. And I will keep the Death Bite. We don't use Fiery War Axe. We don't need it. We don't use Armor Smith. We don't really need it. And I'm even debating taking out Shield Slam and Shield Block, just because that's removal that isn't even guaranteed removal, and it requires most of the time 2 cards to even really work, because if you don't have the adequate armor, it's kind of useless. So lately what I've been doing is using Shield Slam on smaller minions, and then saving my bigger removals for the bigger minions. Like if he were to drop like, I don't know, fucking Mad Scientist or whatever, I would Shield Slam it, because I have so many other ways to remove things that I'm not too concerned with saving Shield Slam for things like that. 1 damage on the board. Yeah, fuck it. Probably have an Animal Companion coming up next. Although, like I said, it's kind of hard to predict these things with this new expansion coming out. So that's an interesting choice. Might be preparing to lay down some secrets. Sometimes I would actually hit the face there, just because now all we basically did was enable ourselves to get an extra, take some extra damage. And because his Death Rattle would trigger first, I could have done it next turn. But I didn't know if he was going to drop another minion, and I wanted to be able to remove it as well. So I just did it this way. Hopefully it's Explosive Trap. Yeah, perfect. It doesn't matter. I mean, we're going to go back to pretty much full health next turn. So healing right now is kind of dumb because we would lose all of that heal pretty much the next turn. So first we're going to remove this threat. Then we will heal. We'll heal next turn. Now the one thing that kind of sucks, unless we're able to injure our Cruel Taskmaster, we can't limit the mana cost of the Crush, which would mean that he could drop a high main. Yeah, there it is. So we have to figure out a way to... well, let's see here. So bear in mind, since we've drawn that panda, we do if we needed to, let's say, like if he gets us really close to lethal. We've got 16 points of heal in hand. We might need it. Yeah, we're going to do it. So this will limit our Iron Juggernaut mines, but he is a hunter, so he's not running heal, we're assuming. But based off his current gameplay, it doesn't look like he's strayed too far from the old decks. So we'll just heal back up to 20. That was probably like a snake trap. I don't know what that was. We would like to get our panda back, so we're just not going to trigger that. Hopefully we get our panda back. The freezing trap? No. Okay. Well, let's just go back up to 20 health. Fuck the bullshit. So we can crush. And clear. Was it snake trap? Yeah, that's okay. Because now we're going to be taking 3 damage instead of 4. Although we did activate potential synergies with like a beast. But this is still okay. We have brawl if we need it. This guy's probably so irritated at us. Yeah. Like I said, this can be a slow deck, especially against situations like this when you constantly just have to keep healing yourself. But so I would assume that that's freezing trap. So what we'll do, um, we'll allow ourselves to take a little more damage, and then we'll heal ourselves again with Alexstrasza. Ooh, that's tempting too. Well, this was not smart. Just so you guys know, we should have healed with Alexstrasza, but I'm an idiot and I can't resist situations like this. Because now we're totally within range of kill commands and stuff like this, but I just can't resist. So he's got to be like, oh, finally, you know? And then we're just going to do this little guy right here. And now he's in top deck mode. He's out of bows. He's out of a lot of different